ना जानते थे समझी। छोटे माँ, जिस इंसान को खुद उसकी किस्मत ने ही चौंका दिया हो, वो किसी और बात से क्या ही चौंकेगी। मेरी जिंदगी ही एक सरप्राइज बन गई है घर में।
गुड
अब
इवनिंग।
हैरानी नहीं होगी, पर डर जरूर लगता है।
गुड
Am I
इवनिंग
audible?
सर।
गुड इवनिंग सर।
यहाँ आने के बाद से ही लग रहा है कि आपने
Good evening,
कितने
sir.
करीब है मेरे, कितना अपना परिचय है।
Good evening, sir.
गुड
आपको
इवनिंग।
मुझे में
गुड इवनिंग सर।
मैं लोगों को याद ही नहीं कर पा रही हूँ।
गुड इवनिंग सर।
जब ऐसा कुछ होता है मैं बहुत
Yeah, am I
घबरा
audible?
जाती
Yes, sir.
हूँ।
यस सर,
मुझे
यस
होने
सर।
लगता है मन में इतनी झिझक महसूस होती है। सर, मन करता है खुद को एक कमरे में बंद कर लूं, कभी भी भारी ना हो। नहीं, हम तुम्हारी वो झिझक को डर ही मिटाना चाहते थे मम्मी। हाँ मोदी, हम सब आपकी याददाश्त को वापस लाने की कोशिश करें। ये रेक्रिएशन ये सब कुछ बस उसकी कोशिश का एक छोटा सा हिस्सा है। आप हमें एक मौका तो दीजिए प्लीज।
Any doubt if you have, please ask me so that we can discuss, or else I will start from my chapter what I have left in the last class. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Please
Yes,
continue.
sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Okay.
Continue, sir.
So anything if you want to ask?
यस सर। गुड इवनिंग सर।
Good evening. Okay, some of the students are asking about the recorded session. I have already told this 2 to 3 times that you will get the recorded session after the completion of the session. This contact class, what we are conducting right now, once it is over, then we will we'll segregate the classes as per subject wise. Then it will be circulated in the group. The link will be circulated in the group, but it will take some time. Let's say our class will over on 18th. All the classes, this phase class will over on 18th. So by end of this month, you will get the recorded session. We need 10 to 15 days for like to edit those classes. Then we will circulate it among the students. Regarding questions and all, is there in the website. Still, we have given the link, and the updated link we will provide. Some of the questions are still missing. We are working on it. You will get the, but don't refer like the questions of 2008, 9. Some of the students they are sharing the questions. It is not at all required. Okay, so just go through last 1 or 2 years question. With that, you can have some idea. The more data, see, we need data or informations to get a correct decisions. But plenty of data, if you are getting, then you may not come to a conclusion. So just stick to certain points. Not just stick to a year question or 2 to 3 years question or 1 year question. Even if you are getting, that is sufficient. Then refer the study materials what we have given. Okay, the detail is there in the study material. If a teacher is giving the providing the soft copy of the study material or the PPT what the teachers are using, it's well and good. Otherwise, everything is there in the study material. You just read it once. Okay, just match it still if some portions are missing in the study material as per the syllabus, then refer the internet. Everything is available in internet. Or else you ask the teacher to provide you those soft copy materials so that we can either the teacher will circulate or else we'll circulate in the group. Right. So see, I hope all the classes have already been started. I have already discussed the pattern of question, how the questions in the examination, that I have already discussed. The process of like classes what you were conducting, that I have already discussed. The detailed syllabus is provided, and what that next. This is all about the course. I hope all of you must have got some idea about the course syllabus and the institution where you have taken admission, and the faculties also. Okay, about the faculties. So my paper I have already started is your management concept and practices. This is the beginning of all the papers, whatever you are reading or you will read in your first semester or else in second, third, fourth. So everywhere you are getting that term management, human resource management, okay, marketing management, finance management, information system management. So everywhere we are using that. We are well acquainted with the term, but we are unable to define it. For see, management is one kind of what I have discussed in the last class. It is one kind of invisible process which penetrates or which creates interest among the people to work more and to get a common type of result or reach to a ultimatum which leads to organizational as well as individual goal. Okay, so we also define management in a systematic process. You may get a question in the examination. Define the process of management. If you are getting the definition, you can also write the process. If you are getting the process, then the answer is with you. So we started the process with the combination of different human and non-human resources, which is famously known. We have already discussed. It is all about your 6th aim, that is in money, material, method, and market. Then with that, we have added 3P. That is, we need to go for planning. We need to formulate policies. We need to formulate procedures. So this is the next step of introduction of the 6th aim. See, we can start the institution at any point of time with any kind of steps. But see, this is one kind of series of steps which are needed to run the organization. So 6M, 3P, then we have also introduced 4C, that is, we need to go for coordination, we need to go for cooperation, we need to cooperate with each other, then communication is there, interaction is there, and finally we need to control the people. Now, see, we can control the non-human resources, still many challenges are there, but to control the people is a difficult kind of task. Still, we need to control by utilizing different kind of mechanism. So controlling mechanisms are there, we'll discuss in the unit 4. Then ultimate goal or objective of the organization or management is your 5R, that we need to give or need to provide the ultimate outcome to its user or to its stakeholder at the right time, place, price, quantity, and qualitative products ultimately is to be provided. Now, we also identified the different challenges what we are facing at the time of continuing this process. Now, the challenges we have identified, it is social challenges are there, technological challenges, constantly innovations, re-innovations, restructuring, re-engineerings are there. So technological challenges are there, economical challenges, obviously it is there because constantly the wage rate or the GST is changed all of a sudden. So these are the different challenges. Now a challenge is there. Suppose those who are in front of the health insurance industries, what happened? Now what happened? Those who have gone for 3 years policy at a time, they paid the GST for 3 years advance. Now it is a challenge for the organization how to manage those people, because those people have paid the GST advance for 3 years. Now all of a sudden GST is nil for health insurance. So these are the challenges are there which we face from economical aspects. Then next is your because why it is a challenge, the organization is answerable. No one will feel that the organization have already transferred the money to the government. So in this way, these are the challenges which we are facing. What are those? One is your social challenges, technological challenges, political challenges, economic challenges, Institutional. Institutional is all about your competitors they put challenges constantly in front of the organizations. Then finally, natural calamities are also there. So this is what we have discussed. One more point I will add here: the functions of management. See, you may get a question in the organization in the examination. What are the functions of management? The functions of management, you may get a question of 5 marks or 8 marks, or you may get a part question of 12 marks question. Okay, so you may get a question like define management, discuss the nature, characteristics, functions of management. In this way, you may get a question. So, however, whatever questions you are getting, you need to write the answer as per the question being asked in the examination. Now, the functions can be discussed in different way. Here, I am trying to specify the functions in a particular way which you can remember it very easily. One function, one way of discussing the function is your primary function. So primary function is all about the functions which will come first or which are important. These functions are very important, and the other side of the primary functions are your secondary. So first these functions will come, then simultaneously the other functions will also follow. So these are all identified as secondary. Now what primary functions includes? It includes what a simple language re lekhi diyo jota ki tame kalo kalo ku mane rakhi paribo. This is all about
class chalchi gupchup 50
ए
टका जाने
मारे
को खाएगा
करो एफटीवी क्लास ये से Supriya, mute yourself. Now, what is that primary functions includes? It is all about postcard. POSDCO is one, R and D. Postcard. Just remember what postcard. Then, if you are getting the जदि तमरा एटा नंबर पड़ची किछि असुविधा नै याकु ही जदि एलाबोरेट कर दोचा तुमको निश्चित रूप से टीचर भलो मार्क दे कि छाड़ियो जदि एगुडा एतिक इफ यू आर एलाबोरेटिंग दिस postcard, what postcard stands for, then the teachers will certainly give good marks. So see what postcard stands for. It is all about planning, organizing, staffing, directing, coordinating, regulating, and budgeting. Planning, organizing, staffing, directing. D for directing, coordinating, coordination is there. Then regulating is all about controlling. And finally, another is your budgeting. Now, these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 functions which we have written it here. Now, I will not discuss much on this. Only I will tell what planning. I will not tell what planning is even because I will discuss much on in unit 1, unit 2. Then organizing, I will discuss in unit 3. Staffing and directing, these are also I will discuss in unit 3 and 4. Coordination is there in unit 4. Regulation is there in unit 5. Budgeting is also there in unit 4 and 5. So I will not discuss much on this. Only you try to remember the different primary functions, which includes your planning, organizing, staffing, directing, coordinating, regulating, and budgeting. Right? I hope all of you must have remembered. Just do one thing. Close your eyes. Just think on that. Postcard, POSDCORB. What postcard stands for? Just do it. This exercise right now. Just close your eyes. Think what postcard stands for. Okay, do it so that you can remember it here itself. So what postcard stands for is all about P stands for planning, organizing, staffing, directing, coordinating, regulating, and budgeting. Then once these functions are there, simultaneously the secondary functions also continues. When I will write down the secondary functions, you will feel that these secondary functions are more important than the primary functions. That I also even feel. But why these are primary? Because in each and every primary function, all the secondary functions are involved. Suppose we are going for planning, then whatever secondary functions are I am writing it here are included here. Whatever secondary functions I will write it here are also there in organizing, are also there in staffing, are also there in directing, coordinating, regulating around. You will also get those secondary, all those secondary functions in positive. Right. Now, what are the secondary functions? Then it includes, the secondary functions includes your motivating, leading, communicating, decision making, innovating. Now, what the secondary functions includes? The secondary functions includes your motivating, leading, communicating, decision making, and innovating. Now, how these secondary functions are included in primary function, each and every primary function. See, in planning, if you are planning, then we need to motivate all to accept it. We need to lead it to implement. We need to communicate. We need to take decisions. Okay, and finally, we need to innovate new way of doing things. If those secondary functions are not there in each of the primary functions, then it is very difficult to continue the operation. Now, all these primary functions, planning is the first function. It is the first function. It is the basic function. It is the beginning of all other primary functions. It is the beginning. So we start with planning. Now, what planning is? What are the different types of planning? Write down the process of planning. How planning is more effective? Those things I will discuss in your unit 2. Now, similarly, organizing, staffing. Staffing you must have read in your HRM paper. Staffing is all about right man at the right job. So right man at the right job is all about staffing. That includes recruitment, that includes selection, that includes orientation, induction, then allotment of task. Right. Now that is how the recruitment, selection, orientation, induction includes staffing. Then we will think of to place that people with a proper designation and assigning of task or giving responsibility to that person to function or to perform. This is all about your staffing. Then similarly, what direction? It is all about giving order, giving command. Okay, it is flow of work is to be distributed in a systematic manner so that the people can know what to do and how to do and where to do and to whom it will be delivered. So these are the direction is there. Coordination is all about linking with people and their work. We need to link them so that at the right point the person must be available. Coordination is all about controlling. Okay, so fan is there in this room. There is a small regulator, a small switch is there, which controls the speed of the fan. See, that controls. So we need regulations, rules, norms, statutes, standing order, instructions, command to control the people. So we will discuss what are the different mechanisms with which we regulate or to control the people in the unit 5. Then finally, budgeting. Can anyone tell me what is budgeting is actually? Please, anyone can say what the meaning of budgeting is?
Sir, budgeting is like means planning of expenditures, like to suppose to if we'll start a project, we'll plan a budget like how much it will take for advertising or for supply or something. So this is all called budgeting.
So what budgeting stands for? See, it is always futuristic, what you stated. Now, identifying or anticipating what budgeting stands for, it is all about identifying and anticipating the future expenditure in advance, which will help you to take corrective measures and to face unforeseen challenges. Right? Now, budgeting has 3 principles. What I remembered, budgeting has 3 principles. One principle says living in present. The second principle says building for future. And the third principle says remember the past. Right? There are 3 broad principles are there which are applied in budgeting. One is live in present. Whatever you need, that you need to identify. Live in present based on your present available resources. Okay, so then once it is you have identified, build for future. You try to estimate or anticipate the future expenditure. That is futuristic. Build for future and remember the past. Budgeting is always useful. Sagar, please mute yourself. Okay, so what is budgeting stands for? It stands for living in present, building for future, and remembering the past. So I intentionally stated the term remembering the past, never applied what you have applied earlier. If you go on with the same practices, then you will never grow. The organization will grow and grow only when the budgeting will be changed, or we can say systematic changes are being applied in the budgeting practices, then only the organization will grow. So that is how the budgeting is there. We'll discuss more on this. And then these are the primary functions. Secondary functions is all about motivation, leading, communication, decision making, and innovation. I hope we have discussed on this. Today I will start with the different questions on manager. Write down the questions which you may get in the examination from the manager chapter. Okay, so manager is the questions, you just write it down. Write down the skills. What are the skills required for a manager? Skill is all about dakhyata. Okay, discuss the roles of a manager. What are the role? What kind of role I am playing? What kind of role you are playing in your home, at your home, in your office, in the playground, in the classroom? See, are you playing the same role what you play usually in your office, in this classroom? No, you need to change the role. A manager is a person who is able to, is a manager, he is a good one only when he can change the roles as per circumstances, as per situations, or as per requirement or demand. You will become a good person, good manager when you can able to change your role as per situations. Now, what are the skills required to become a manager, good manager? What are the roles of a manager? The nature and characteristics of a manager. And finally, another is your levels of management. Question tomara 5 mark, 8 mark, 12 mark question asipare. Write down the roles of a manager, roles and skills of a manager as per the levels of management. Okay, you may get a question on that. So write down the roles and skills of a manager as per the levels of management. Now, first I will start with levels. Organization mein kitne prakar level rahichi? How many levels are there? Ame gote systematically kahi pariba, organization has 3 levels. Top level, the middle level, and the lower level. Some people are in the top level, some people are in the middle level, and many people are there in the lower level. So this is what is the basic structure usually we see in our country. Now, top level, who are they? That you know better. Middle level, who are they? You can tell their nature, their work, their responsibility, you can tell. Lower level, you can also identify what kind of tasks they do usually. So top level are the implementer, they are policy maker. Middle level, they listen things and they disperse things. And lower level, they are the frontline player. Usually we define it. But these are the 3 broad levels, and the level varies from organization to organization. In some organizations, we give very importance to these people. In some organizations, it depends on the organization's policies. It depends on the HR manual of the organization, how the levels are to be defined and how the levels are to be distinguished. This is what is levels of management. You may get a 5 mark questions on that. You draw a picture of that. Then who are they in the top level? Just think of the person who is working in your company and place in the top level, then middle level, then lower level. You can define it. Okay. Then characteristics, I will tell roles, and I will start with the skills. Skill is all about dakhyata, we say. Now, before defining the skills of a manager, tell me, what are the skills required for a teacher? What a शिक्षक पाखरे to become a good teacher? Anyone tell me? What
Sir,
are the skills?
sir, enough knowledge. Then
Knowledge there. You should have the subject. Okay, knowledge. Okay, very good.
knowledge.
Anyone else?
Then the skill to guide a student.
Communication skills.
Leader.
Leadership style देखो हमें distinguish करछे अपन you told leadership but leadership is not a skill style with the user please जे with the
Yeah.
skill we lead. Leader is the role. We play a role as a leader. बुझी पालो ना नहीं?
Sir,
Now, to
innovative
play the
innovative
role of a
foresighted.
leader, we need different kind of skills. Okay, please continue.
Sir,
Decision
innovative
skill.
foresighted have a strong foresight.
Okay, you
Have a strong
innovate with the use of those skills. You are becoming an innovator. So innovation or innovator is a role. Okay,
Sir,
then what kind
patience.
of skills you need to innovate? Yes.
Sir, patience to guide students.
Patience is one type of
Adaptability,
traits.
creativity, and
You are
imagination.
a IT, you will use personality trait. Personality, you know what personality is.
Yes, sir.
Personality कौन कहलो? It is there in
Sir,
your
it's,
OB.
yeah,
So
it's
you are,
like.
what you are doing, you are mixing the traits with the skill.
The presentational skill should be must.
Presentation is all about your communicational skill. Very good. So ମୁଁ ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ କହୁଛି ଜଣେ ଝିଅ କହିଲା କି knowledge ଥିବା ଦରକାର. The teacher should have the knowledge. All about clarity in this subject. Right? Knowledge. He must have a knowledgeable person. He should have the conceptual skill. That is all about knowledge. Conceptual clarity must be there. Right? With that conceptual clarity, one can lead, one can innovate, one can manage the organization. So this skill is the beginning. हमें कहें कि skill India कहूँ skill development, skill innovative center कहूँ कहें why? Because skill is the quality which remain within the individual. Now when you will start exploring such quality within yourself, then only you can explore, then only you can enlarge, then only you can be expanded. So whatever growth, expansion, and diversification are there, that is all depends on your skill components. You need to develop it. Now, what kind of skills required for a teacher? One is a conceptual skill. Kama kahilo, sir ko pakhare knowledge achi, but you know, sir is unable to express it. बुझी पारला? बुझी पारछ ना नहीं? sir को पाखरे knowledge अछि, but sir ताको कहि पारुनांती केमति हमें बुझी पारुनु. We are unable to understand it. That means there is a gap between you and the student, or the teacher and the student. He is unable to reciprocate, or he is unable to transfer the message so that you cannot transform yourself. Okay, so one is conceptual skill. Other is your, I write it here.
Human skill.
Very good, thank you. Then next is your communicational skill. So sir ko pakare conceptual skill achi, clarity achi, knowledge achi, sir is also able to express it. Ame bujhi parchu. We are getting it what he is telling. What his intention is there, that we are able to, even if he is not telling anything, still we are able to understand. Ame koche communicational skill re silence speaks louder than words. केतोला में चुप रही कि भी एमिति कथा काम करूछु लोक माने बुझी जाउछन बट साइलेंस कैन नॉट बी प्रेस्क्राइब्ड एज मोड ऑफ एक्सेप्टेंस यू नीड टू एक्सेप्ट यू नीड टू रेसिप्रोकेट यू नीड टू पास द इंफॉर्मेशंस इन द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन so what is that conceptual skill communicational skill then another skill is your see sir को बुद्धि अछि sir को कथा कहि कि हमको बुझै परचंदी but sir को जेतोले क्वेश्चन when I ask a question sir ragi जाउछन sir is unable to take the decision. So another skill is your decision making skill. It is all about your diagnostic skill or analytical skill. Decision making or diagnostic or analytical skill. पिला माने प्लीज लिखु थाओ लिखिले कोन होबो ना तमे सबु तमरो सबु माने अभ्यास हे जीवनी यू को यू एमति लिखिबो आर को आर एमति लिखुछ ए आर So you start writing. Okay, so when you write, then you will develop a practice of writing. Try to develop that. Now, what are the skills required? मते समझते तुम मैंने जो मैंने न लेखुच ठीक है जो मैंने लेखुच please पढ़ी लिया लेकिन वो screenshot पठी पर you can send the screenshot. Then what are the different skills required? One is your conceptual skill, communicational skill, decision making or diagnostic skill. Another skill is your humanitarian skill or behavioral skill. Behavioral skill, humanitarian skill or behavioral skill. Now, what do you mean by behavioral skill? Can anyone tell me what do you mean by behavioral skill is? Yes?
So behavior skill will be like केमती students ऐसा patiently तांको guide करिबा class रे केमती no right then class से केमती behave करिया हाँ
Sir,
Okay.
how to
Behavioral
behave in
skill
different situations?
Yes?
How to behave in different situations, that is behavioral skill.
No.
How to
Never.
cooperate with
It
others.
is called empathy. Empathy.
How to
Empathy.
cooperate with others.
Always.
Sir, in behavioral
Okay,
skill,
very
there
good.
should be a gesture and posture also important.
Okay, that is important, but sometimes it is we treat it as someone has misbehaved me with his gesture and posture. Okay, what do you mean by behavioral skill? Actually, these are the approaches to behavior. But these are the different dimensions of behavior. But behavioral skill is to understand the unspoken words. It is an art of studying the heart of others. केते बढ़िया डेफिनेशन होला डिफाइंड बाय किए को डिफाइन करछन जानि छ अरे के डिफाइन करले इट इज एन आर्ट of studying the heart of others defined by Sujit Kumar. So what do you mean by behavioral skill? It is all about, it is an art. Kola, onyara requirement bujiba. So when you are able to understand why someone is reactive, why someone is submissive, why someone is crying, why someone is smiling, why someone is behaving in that way, when you are able to understand, then behavioral, you are sound in behavioral skill. Now, behavioral you will need in the organizational. Who is taking that paper? Obi? Obi is already started organizational behavior.
Dr. Tanmay Mahapatra.
Okay, very good. Now, what do you mean by OB, organizational behavior? It has two components, organizational and behavior. Okay, so we need to study the behavior in the organization. Organization no behavior हम study करूँ. Who are they? We start with the individual, we start with the group, we start with the organization as a whole. When inside the classroom, I try to study the behavior of the individual. When I'll go outside the classroom, I'll try to study the behavior of the group. When I'll go outside the organization, I'll start studying the behavior of the organizations. How the DDC is functioning, how that other departments are functioning, how the individuals are functioning. See, there are different parameters with which we study the behavior. What are those parameters? The parameters include, one is belief. Belief. What are the parameters which influence the individual's behavior? One is your Vishwasa. See, someone is very strong. Okay, because with the belief system. The belief system yes, so that he is behaving like that. So what are the components which influence to your behavior? One is, or how the behavior is formed. One individual's behavior is formed with belief. Next is your ethics. Your ethic. Ethics I have defined it here. Next is your habit. So what are the parameters which contributes to behavior, someone's behavior? One is your belief system. One is your ethics system, the ethical issues. Again, those parameters depends on your background, your family support, your surrounding, your education system. These are there. But you form your behavior with these components, your belief system, your ethical issues, your habit. Next is your attitude. The attitude, that also forms the behavior. Then next is your value system. What forms your behavior? One is your belief, ethics, habit, attitude, your value system. Your integrity and involvement. How you are involving in the practice. If you are more involved, then you will become more interested. So your interest area, your involvement, and your integrity also forms the behavior. Next is your observation and objective. How you are observing and how you are setting the objective. See, जेतबेले मासो शेषो आसी जाय थाए गोटे टार्गेट आस्ता है तम ऑब्जेक्टिव बहुत आसी गला नियर यू आर नियरिंग टू योर ऑब्जेक्टिव अचीवमेंट ऑफ ऑब्जेक्टिव यू बिहेव डिफरेंटली but in the beginning of the month you behave differently. Now basing on that outcome objective how you are observing it, now that also influence your behavior. Now what are the parameters which influence the individual's behavior? One is belief, one is ethics, one is habit, one is attitude, value system, your interest, your involvement, and your integrity. That influence your behavior. And finally, observation, objective, and finally, another is your role. What kind of role you are playing? ମୁଁ ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ଗୋଟେ टीचर रोल प्ले करूची, so I behave in this manner. But when I'm a controller, when the examination, suppose you are asking me questions. When you are asking me questions, I answer. I welcome questions and I answer the questions. So that is what my role says. The examination hall, if you ask questions, I will tell simply, don't look back, don't discuss, don't talk. Whatever you wanted to ask me after the examination. So that is what my role. I need to change the role. This role also influences the level, the position, the designation, the nature of work, the responsibility. That all includes the individual's role. So what kind of role you play, that changes. Okay, that changes. Now you are playing the role of a student. In the office, you are playing, you may be playing a role of an employee or an employer or a father at your home or a son, daughter, brother, sister. So you change the behavior. What kind of role you play? If you play the same role, what you are, the way you are dealing with your boss, and in the same way if you deal with your father, then contradiction is there. So these basic, बुझिला मने रहिला पिला माने मने रहिला.
अच्छा आगे टिके स्क्रीन टे ये कुछ फ्रीज कर चुटी अछि.
और कौन मुझे कहि डाटा के जाउछ ना
जानि बता
now what are the parameters?
10टा खुला लोक तू जीव 3टा को मारा था
ये कैसे
सेटा
आईफोन
पुणी
कार
ओलिया
बना देना ब्लॉक कर देबी तुमको.
सर गोटे कथा.
Okay.
सर
Now, what are the parameters which influence the behavior? This includes the belief, the ethics, the habit, the attitude, the value system, the interest and the involvement, the way you are identifying the objective and observing the objective, and the role that forms behavior. BHAVIOUR. Our relative understanding which are the how you are understanding it. Perception. It is all about your perception. मने रहिबो पिला माने एतिकी लेखि देले तमरो गोबीर अधा डिस्कशन एठी हेजिबो. If you elaborate each of the point, then you can answer the questions. But a 12 marks the gote part question to define obi, discuss the nature characteristics of obi, or what are the factors which influence the individual's behavior. If you elaborate these 6 or 7 points, at least 2 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 9, then your introduction is over. Now, this is all about your humanitarian skill, conceptual skill, communicational skill, decision making skill, humanitarian skill. The next is your ethical skill. Ethics. Now, can anyone tell me what do you mean by ethical skill? What do you mean by ethics? Ethics कौन?
Ethics means moral or character of a person.
What?
Moral and character of a person.
Morality of
and moral.
Morality of a person.
सर गोटे काम करिबा पूर्व सर गोटे काम करबा पूर्वरु निजर पर्सनल इंटरेस्ट को पछरे रखिकी जोटा बेटरमेंट हबो माने बेटर आउटपुट हबो सेटा को करिवार को ही इथिकल वे कहा जाए
जदि मो पर्सनल इंटरेस्ट को मु देखिकी मो पर्सनल इंटरेस्ट देखिकी मु मोर काम कली हां मो पिला को पाठ पढिबिनी निजे आगो पढिबी फास्ट हेबी तर अन्य माने जानतु भाई जदि कर देल ताल मोर अनएथिकल प्रैक्टिस हे जीवो ना
सर
हाँ सर,
आपण जो वर्क पई असाइन ही चंदी लाइक एबे टीचरशिप पई आपण असाइन ही चंदी तो पहिला माने आपनकर फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी होचे स्टूडेंट रो बेटरमेंट ए जगह आपण जदि आपनकर पर्सनल छुआ रो बेटरमेंट कहबे ताले एठी इथिकल वैल्यूटा कंप्रोमाइज हे जबो माने जो काम पई आपण एंगेज अछंती
अच्छा मु ता भीतर मो फैमिली के जो टाइम दे देबी ताले अनएथिकल होबो
सर सेही टाइम पीरियड जोटा कि मीन अछि छुआ को देबा पई सेही टाइम पीरियड जदि फैमिली के देबे ताले अनएथिकल
अच्छा
हो
वर्तमान मु गोटे जिंस पचारिबी it is a question I'll tell one thing that is open for all you can tell me telling a lie then I will come to your point telling a lie is it ethical or unethical
sir depend upon the situation
but it depends on
Sir, it's
depends on the
moral
situation
principle.
breaking of law rules regulations is it ethical or unethical
sir again
breaking of law rules regulations
sir again depend upon the situation
very good
that is unethical. Breaking up
that's unethical now
Unethical, sir.
unethical. Now, if you tell
Depends
this is
upon
unethical,
situation.
then the next is that Mahatma Gandhi ji is the most unethical person of our country because he had broken all the rules, regulations governed by the Britishers. Now, the point is that ethics is not right and wrong. Ethics is never being identified as right and wrong. Ethics is identified as which one is right and which one is wrong. And you need to develop such kind of thing within yourself. With all such. Ethics is not the single outcome. It is the composite outcome with the use of all other skills. At a point, the wrong thing may also right because the situation demands. It is never identified as that we need to go with this. Ethics is never rigid. Ethics is never fixed. It is always flexible. It is demand. It is always as per the demand you need to move. It is situational. Right? Now, that is how the ethics is to be defined. Mate ei jagare kono karibara achi. You need to think on that. We need to go with that. So, and what kind of task I need to do, whether I have to kill that person, whether I will kill myself. Right? Now, you need to think on that. What the situation demands, so accordingly you need to perform, you need to function. It is all about someone's conscience. It is all about someone's value system. It is all about someone's moral system. It is all about someone's knowledge, involvement, and many more things. So what ethics is, that we will discuss in business ethics. There is a paper, okay, Professor Guru, PK Guru is taking that paper. I hope he will teach it in a systematic manner. Now, the conceptual skill, communicational skill, decision-making skill, humanitarian skill, ethical skill, and another skill is your political skill and technological skill. Technological skill. Mu kahili gote teacher pakhare kon skill thibar achi. So these are the skills also required for a teacher, and these are the skills also required for a manager. Now think in which skill you are more prominent, in which skill you need to develop. Mo pakhare gote chota exercise but test achi. Just dekhiwa ketole if I will get time, I will apply that instrument on you so that how much efficient you are in these skills, that score will tell. Right? So different skill components are there. Yes, sir. Amit. Okay. So what are the different skill components required for a teacher? I'm telling about a teacher so that you can understand it. One is conceptual skill, subject knowledge. One is communicational skill. You should have the ability to speak it clearly so that all should understand. Only by telling it is not sufficient. You should understand and you should accept what is intended to be spoken to the followers. Then decision-making skill. It is all about taking decisions, correct, accurate, timely decisions must be taken. Then humanitarian skill, you should have the ability to understand the behavior of this person. Okay, the next is your ethical skill, next is your political skill. Political skill is all about giving the right judgment. Okay, so then finally the technical skill. See, I am not a technical savvy person. I do not know much about these instruments, but somehow I need some parameters. I should have the knowledge of some parameters. So these skills, why I stated like that, these skills are based on the level. When I'm in the top level, which type of skill is more prominent? I can say conceptual skill. Okay, this is what is more important. When I'm the middle level, I'm functional, and all of the skills are required. I'm not telling, what I think, so just try to understand this concept. All the skills are required for all the levels, top, middle, lower. But when you function as a top level executive, certain skills will become prominent. Amit, mute yourself.
Sir, last
Certain
one.
skills will become prominent. Right?
Sir, last one.
Pardon?
After political skill, last one, what is that one?
Technical skill, technological skill.
Okay, sir.
Okay. See,
Okay.
when you sing a song, you need all the scale. Pare, Gama, Pada, Nisa. Post scale will become high, post scale will become low. Like this, at the point, this skill will become very prominent, the conceptual skill, but all other skills will become less prominent or less important. Technical skill will become more prominent. So these are always fluctuating. Equalizer like this skill will also behave like that. So but still, these labels are not fixed. These labels are not fixed. It is also fluctuating.
Sir, the manager को level ऐसे.
Yes.
Manager को level.
Manager सब level ले ऐसे हो. सब level ले ऐसे हो. सुना, वर्तमान I am in which level? I'm in which level? In this forum. I'm in the top level, obviously. Obviously, I'm in the top level. Now, all of a sudden, just think. अरे अमित तुम्हें म्यूट करछो ना नहीं? You are creating disturbances.
और आपण म्यूट कर दियंतु.
तुम्हें कोई समस्या सुनी करियो? I am unable to see you all. ମୁଁ ଗୋଟେ ସ୍କ୍ରିନ୍ କୁ ଅନେଇଛି ସେଇଠି କହୁଛି. ତାକୁ କହିକି see how much energy I am like wasting. ମୁଁ ନିଜକୁ କେତେ motivate କରୁଛି looking at me only. And at least some voices should come from your side so that I can able to speak it. I can able to make you understand these subjects. Okay, Amit, तुम आउ further कले तुम पूरा block करी काढ़ी देबी. तुम जल्दी disturbance create करी. Okay, so what is that? The level. See, when I am inside the classroom, I am in the top level. Now you asked, manager is in which level? I am answering your question. The levels are never fixed. When I am inside the class, I am in the top level. Suddenly, what happened? The vice chancellor of this university is entering into the class. Many times it happens. When you enter into the class, so this is the way I stand. The way I stand. See my leg posture, see my hand posture, see my facial expression. Because I am in the top level, I behave like that, and I use certain specific skills. Now, when the vice chancellor is entering into the classroom, so what I'll do? Shall I stand in the middle like this? What I'll do? I will come side. Okay. So at that point of time, the vice chancellor is in the top and in middle, and you people are in the lower level. Right? Now, all of a sudden,
Yes.
what happened? The chancellor is entering into the classroom. Now, at that point of time, the vice chancellor will also not stand like that. The vice chancellor will stand like this. And I will go to your place. Right? I will go to your place. The chancellor will stand like this. Are you getting my point? Now in the 21st
Yes,
century,
yes, sir.
if you fix the level, the person will never walk. Make it open. So that is what is all about decentralization. That is all about delegation. That is all about empowerment. So we will read all those things, but he will fix the level. No, to lower level employee, then he cannot take the decision. So we should empower people. The levels are never fixed. Managers are in all levels. I have already suggested. Now, these are the levels, these are the skills, and what kind of role we are playing. Write down one point here. Mintzberg's 10-factor role. M-I-N-T-Z-B-E-R-G. Mintzberg. He had suggested 10 roles, but I'm not writing those roles. You read it, it is there in the book. Mintzberg's 10-factor role. It is there in the book, it is there in the online, you can check it. But I will define the roles in a different manner. Okay. When I teach this paper, I play the role of a counselor. What is the term says? Counselor. Right? Now I play the role of a counselor. So what are the components includes in counselor? You need to define. So I play a certain point. I play the role of a counselor. So one role is your counseling. So whatever doubts you have, I need to counsel. I need to understand it. I need to consult with you. I need to minimize such doubts. So I play the role of a counselor. I play the role of a conflict minimizer. It's a confusion, I try to resolve it. So counselor, conflict minimizer, another role. The different roles generally played by a manager that I am trying to define. So counselor, conflict minimizer. Also play the role of coordinator. Co-teacher केतेबेले class नेबे गोटे group करिकी तादर information देकी we need to pass the information. Okay, we need to communicate with others. So that is what another role is your coordinator. And to coordinate, we need to communicate. That is all about your communicator. So what do we know? Played manager, the different roles. One is a counselor, one is conflict minimizer, coordinator, communicator. Next is your change implementer. So many times we have seen the manager implements change in the organization. So that is also one type of role. So the implementation of change is the part of the task. There is nothing in the business environment. Nothing is permanent. Only one thing is permanent is your constant change. It will happen. It will happen. You should not restrict to it. You should not object to it. So what is that? Counselor, conflict minimizer, coordinator, communicator, change implementer, crisis handler. So sometimes we manage crisis handler. Next is your commander. Okay. Sometimes we give command, instructions, orders. Another is your controller. Okay, controller. Okay. Now these are the different roles. So these are the different roles are there which are played by the manager in the 21st century. What are those roles? Commander, controller, counselor, conflict minimizer, coordinator, communicator, change implementer, crisis handler. Simply you remember 8C. After C, you can answer the questions. If you are getting a question, write down the different roles of a manager in the 21st century. Write it down.
Save count.
Okay, so these are the different roles of a manager. So you may get a question. What are the skills of a manager? Write down the skills for the levels of management. Write down the roles played by the manager. So these are the answers are there in front of you. Okay, so remember it and answer it in the examination. Still, I am in halfway to complete the unit 1. Still I am in the halfway to complete the unit 1. The another portion is there in unit 1 is your contributions to the field of management. Who are they? What a contribution I am discussion kariba. Henry Fayol's contribution. Just write it down. Henry Fayol's contribution. F.W. Taylor, Frederick Winslow Taylor's contribution, and Elton Mayo's contribution. Mayo. Okay. So these are the three are there in the syllabus. One is your Henry Fayol. Henry Fayol. F.W. Taylor, Frederick Winslow Taylor, and another one is your
Elton Mayo.
Elton Mayo. Okay, so these are the three contributions. I will try to cover at least one contribution. 14 principles of management that I will try to cover. The rest thing you will read at your home, and study materials are given. You remember those. Okay, so 14 principle is important. So that I will discuss. And I hope people attend the class, then you will never forget the 14 principles of management. Okay. So let's stop here.
Sir,
Hello.
sir, punctuality, time management, or the leadership, or a core skill under us.
No, so that's outcome. Punctuality, jane but skill ta pakare nothing. Punctuality, these are all traits. तमे personality traits पढ़िबो. बुझिला? Personality traits. Trait theory. Personality theory तमर अछि. सेतले पढ़िबो सेतले तमर कहबो कि what are the traits of a manager? Write down the different traits are the characteristics. These are your nature or characteristics. Jane nature by nature jane late comer. Time management, mismanagement. By nature, someone is very punctual. By nature, someone is very unpunctual. Jama punctual. By nature, someone is liar. By nature, someone is lovable. By nature, someone is very aggressive, very submissive, very enthusiastic. Okay, so these are all the nature of a manager. That you will read in Bill. Trait theory tome पढ़ी पारिबो. But these are the outer line, but the inner line is your skill components. Tama pakere skill achi, tama pakere will line. There are two types of person are there in the organization. Four types of persons. What are your skill? Four depends on skill and will. These four types of persons are based on two components. One is skill, another one is will. Some people are there who are highly skilled and highly willful. Highly skilled and highly willful. It is very difficult to retain them in the organization. Retention is the biggest challenge. It is very difficult to retain them. I mean, skill component to measure korchu, will to measure korchu. It is very difficult. And certain people are low skill and low will. Skill and will also not there. So we will not retain them. We will kick them out. Now these two persons are out of the. What you wanted to ask? Okay. So these two are out of this circle. Now remain. Now there are two type of people are there with us. One is low skill, high will. Another one is your high skill, low will. Now, my question is that with which categories of person or individual you will go with? Whether you will go with low skill, high will, or high skill, low will.
Low skill, high will.
Very good. Because we always look the point from that angle. Why low skill, high will? The thing is that skill can be developed, but will is very difficult to develop. When someone is having that kind of spirit, then he can learn. Now skills are developed. I mean skill development coaching. But will development, enthusiasticness, innovation, motivation. You need to create yourself. So certain components which are to be developed, okay, these are. Now, when we are having, we want to function with those skills. So these are all your traits are there, nature characteristics are there. Another is your skills are also there. But see, management is a paper or a chapter or a discipline where we need all. It is not that with only one parameter we can work. We need all. We need the high level, we need the low level, we need the medium level people. We need all the components of the behavior. We need all the components of role. We need all components of the level. We need all components of nature characteristics. We need all components of the skill. So with that, we manage people. See, it is one kind of invisible process. There are two components are there. Two components. Data component roichi. This entire chapter ta tinita part divide hoichi. Mu gote jinso tumu kahi diye, tame clearly buझी paribo. Acha कार class अछि ki?
No, sir. No, sir.
No, sir.
Acha mu 5 minutes. I'll take 5 minutes. I'll take only 5 minutes. This paper is broadly divided into 3 parts. This paper, the paper what you are reading, it is broadly divided into 3 parts. One is manager, one is management, and another one is organization. The second portion we are reading from manager chapter, from management chapter, and from organization chapter. Okay. Now we can define the term manager. Now, can anyone tell me how these two are different from each other? How the term management is different from organization? Please, it is open to all. How it is different? Yes, please. Pilamane. अरे बुझुछ ना नहीं पाठ?
Yes, sir. So manager is an individual, while management is a process.
Management is the process. Then organization?
Organization is an institute.
Institution. Very good. Excellent. Can anyone give an example? Can anyone give an example? Yes? Any example on that?
For example, Reliance.
Reliance? Yes.
Ambani is the head of that company or institute. Organization is that Reliance, and that management, what he have done till now, that what the process he have been done, and how he manages that institute.
Very excellent. Thank you for defining the term and differentiating these three. See, I will make it more clear by giving a specific example. Chotobele, all of you must have gone for tuition. Tuition jaicha na nahi pila mane?
हाँ सर
Suppose se choto belo katha mane pakao, and setebele tome tuition gala, when you are going for that, when your mother is asking, beta, where you are going, what the answer we give? Who answer हमें दो? मैम मैं जाऊँ ट्यूशन, मैं जाऊँ ट्यूशन के लिए ट्यूशन जा रहा हूँ. ऐसा आंसर हम लोग देते हैं. We give answers like that. The thing is that, is it the right answer or wrong answer?
Right answer.
Right answer. Wrong answer. Now see, there are also 3 terms are there.
fill up करिके FIC का सिग्नेचर बस सेटा फिल अप करके FIC का सिग्नेचर नहीं आसना मु स्टाम्प मार देबी नहीं मु नेले तमे एटू मार दो.
अभिषेक
sorry sir
So one is tutor. There are also 3 terms are there. One is tutor. Okay. Another is tuition. And third is your tutorial. 3 terms are there. One is tutor, tuition, and the third one is your tutorial. Now, where you are going? Tutorial. I am going to the tutorial. Now, mother is asking next question. Now, the tutor will teach. Now, what happens in that practice? tutor is the person concerned or a manager who transfers his knowledge and all other components, knowledge, skill, with the use of different kind of skills among the students in the organization, in the tutorial. Now, in these practices, tuition is the practice. In this process, tuition is the practice or is the process or the way the tutor transfers the knowledge from him to the among the students. Now, my question is that, can you see tuition? तुम tuition टा केवे देखी पाइछो?
No, sir. No, sir.
No.
So,
No, sir.
you can only feel after the completion of the subject, sir, बढ़िया भाବରେ बुझेले. I have understood it. You cleared all my doubts. So, tuition is a principle of or process or practice adopted by the teacher or tutor with which the students can understand the subject. It is invisible. Only you can feel after getting up the result. And person is the entity, is the business unit, it is the concern, it is the body, it is the team, it is the shift department, it is a shift, it is a unit where the manager applies all his skill, expertise for the achievement of individual and organizational goals. Right? That is how these three terms are different. Okay. तो तमरा बेसी समय नबानी अरे पिला माने बुझुच ना नहीं पाठटी मते कहलो जस्ट टेल मी
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
so any still if you have any doubt then what you can do is that the questions what I am telling in the class or the other teachers what they are discussing about the questions just write down the questions gote page ba other page re gote khata re just write the answer. Write the answers in bullet wise. Try to remember the points and you elaborate those points when you are answering the questions in the examination if you are getting that question. So if you
Sir,
want to cross-check it, then it is always open for you. You can come to me or else Rasmi madam is there. Other teachers are, some of the teachers are also there from DDC. They can verify it. Kehi nathile mu achi verify. So just try to read this concept. Yes.
Sir, please.
Sir, what is the difference
See, sir.
in technical skill? What is the difference between?
Sir, 8C, sir.
Difference between
Conceptual skill and technical skill.
the conceptual skill is overall knowledge about the business. Suppose you are in the top level, it is not important that you should have a technical savvy. Open kar machine taku puni repair kariba puni taku join kariba. But you should have the knowledge about the market. You should have the knowledge about the financial terms. You should have the knowledge about the competitor. You should have the knowledge about the banker, financer, and where your organization is there. You should know about the vision, missions. So this is all about your conceptual skill.
Okay.
See, again I will tell one point. One skill relates with all other skills. Because you can only take correct decisions when you are having conceptual skill. And you can reciprocate or you can express the decision when you have communicational skill. Like these skills are interrelated. एमती नहीं कि ये गोटे separate ये North Pole से South Pole. It is never like that.
Okay.
So that's why we discussed MANC, ME, management. So different terms, different components form it. And केवल है उन्हीं से ठीक ये 10टा word थिला बोली मु 10टा term लिखली. जब इसे 50टा word था तो मु 50टा term लिखी थी. Because someone, Clayton Alderfer, he had defined the personality traits. कहते जानी चो 19,728 traits he had defined. कहते कहलो 19,729 टा trait ଗୋଟେ ଲୋକ ପାଖରେ ଅଛି. Can you imagine? Later it was reduced to 197, then 128, then 16 traits. It is famously known as 16 traits. 16 traits ଅଛି personality. 19,000 ରୁ 16 ଟା question. So because these are all interrelated. Okay. Sir, can you again define behavior in one line? It is an art of getting things done through others. Behavior is all about understanding the art of studying the heart of others. So, a definition joda ki 8 class bhitere tame when you ask, it comes spontaneously. When you ask, it comes spontaneously. So that's why, if you ask me the question, I will define it in different way. So, what behavior is actually? Behavior is it is a reaction to an action, right? Behavior is all about the reaction to an action. Kiye behave karuchi? A plant re, a jo planet re, all the living, non-living madhya behavior study karle. All the living, all behavior I study karuchi. Behavior, how we study? Study, it is all about collecting, analyzing, interpreting, predicting, and controlling. So we collect the information. Looking at a point, more pilate asila moseta asi konkala, I suffered visa jukti kala. I collected the information. Why he is behaving like that? I collected the informations. Then I try to analyze in my mind. Collecting, analyzing, I interpreted, comparatively. Then I predicted, but then I controlled the behavior. So behavior is the study of the behavior, which includes individual, which includes group, which includes organization as a whole. Now study includes collecting, analyzing, interpreting, predicting, and controlling. Now from individual point of view, we study attitude, personality, perception, value, ethics, emotion, sentiment, feeling, and many more terms are there. Ethical jodi ame gote individual study kardaba, koi daba se what kind of person he is. When it comes to an organization, when it comes to group, we study the behavior of the leadership, how the leader is functioning, how the communication system is there, how the group cohesiveness is there, how group dynamism is there. With that, we can tell about the group. When dita team match hochi, seven someone study the behavior. When two teams are playing a match, a team tar behavior study kor, se team yar behavior study kor. Group behavior study korchi, individual behavior study korchi. Then from organization, we study the organization culture, climate, the crisis handling, the customer's commitment, how they are committed towards the customer, how they are committed towards the society. From there, we can tell about the organization. So this is how the behavior is being studied. Okay.
Yes, sir.
BC I'm not getting it. 8C, okay. 8C you have written. Achha, 8C. 8C is all about the role of a manager. Don't worry for that. You attend tomorrow class. Next class, I will tell the role of a manager. Just write the question. Write the question. Write down the challenges. Write down the challenges. Please write the question. Write down the challenges faced by the manager in the 21st century and discuss the diversified role. Discuss the diversified role played by the manager to challenges. And this is not from unit 1. This is a question to prepare karibo unit 5 ru jaha padle bi yahi बुझी पारलो बुले बाकी जते प्रकार क्वेश्चन आसु एटा ही आंसर व्हाट आर द चैलेंजेस एंड व्हाट आर द डाइवर्सिफाइड रोल मु सेठी आउथरे डिस्कशन तमर करै देबी बट स्टिल द रोल ऑफ ए मैनेजर मिन्सबर्ग 10 फैक्टर रोल तमे देखि दियो बट व्हाट आई स्टेटेड the manager played as a communicator. I communicate. When I communicate, start communicating with my follower or my senior, I play the role of a communicator. Conflict minimizer, I minimize conflict. I try to reduce conflicts. That is all about conflict minimizer. I manage crisis. I handle crisis handler. Change implementer, I implement change in the organization. At that point of time, I play the role of a change agent. Okay. Then I play the role of a commander sometimes. When I start giving command order, what a war hella. At that point of time, there is no need to discuss with anyone. No need to communicate. I am giving command, you just listen to it. That is all about commander. Coordinator. Sometimes I coordinate with the people with their work. That is coordinator. Corporator. I install new things. Okay. So these are the different types of role played by the manager. As per that, this question may come in unit 1. Okay. So shall I stop now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How this is
Yes.
out, Thilam?
Sir, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Bye-bye. Good night.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Good night, sir.
अच्छा
Good
कब
night,
मैंने रॉय को
sir.
next class में okay
Sir, next class
Next
after
class
that.
9
After
after that वो class पहले सबसे break था कहीं की ना मुट्ठी के मारी जाए बोली वो class okay bye bye
Bye, sir. Bye night.